الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسوله الكريم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين. Beloved hearts, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to another session on Make My Heart Firm. The dua for today, brothers and sisters, is Allahumma rahmataka arju فلا تكلني إلى نفسي طرفة عين وأصلح لي شأني كله لا إله إلا أنت. Beloved hearts, this dua is the perfect dua for any situation of hardship that you may be going through. Each one of us certainly has faced situations of crisis proportions, of stress, of being sad, of grieving for lost loved ones, of having a lot of sorrow for missed opportunities, and for just being distressed. Some of us, we have various fears of different things. Some of us may have a lot of anxiety. We may be very anxious. We may be alarmed in some of the things that are going on. We may be very troubled and confused and scared. Many issues that we face in our lives. To deal with all of that, Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam gave us the perfect antidote, perfect remedy. He said that da'watul makroob, that the dua that you can make, or the du'as that you can make to face these type of stressful situations, these crises, is to say this dua. And this dua has 4 parts. The first part is Allahumma rahmataka arju. The second part is فَلَا تَكِلْنِي إِلَى نَفْسِي طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ. The third part is وَأَصْلِحْ لِي شَأْنِي كُلَّهُ. The fourth part, لَا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ. The first part, and actually the whole dua, is full of iman and tawheed and ikhlas, sincerity, and a distancing from having any other priority or any other authority besides Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Brothers and sisters, when we make this dua, we're calling directly upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When we say in the first part, Allahumma rahmataka arju, O Allah, Allahumma, when we say Allahumma, that means that we are employing all the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's like a catch-all term for all the names and attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when we say Allahumma. So we're calling upon Allah and we say, Ya Allah, rahmataka arju, it is your mercy that I am seeking. It is your mercy that I am hoping for. And here it is important to understand that Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said mercy first and seeking or hoping for after that. Meaning that I am only seeking that mercy from you and from no one else. From no one else. It's like in the Surah Al-Fatiha we say, إِيَّاكَ نَعْبُدُ, only you do we worship. So it's a statement similar to that. That rahmataka arju, that I am seeking, that only your mercy am I seeking, and from no one else. And because we know that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَرَحْمَتِي وَسِعَتْ كُلَّ شَيْءٍ, that my mercy is over all things. Everything has my mercy in it. So the first thing to deal with our crisis is we're seeking Allah's mercy, and only from Allah. Because after all, nothing happens in this world and anywhere, even in the hereafter, without the permission of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's always a decree of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who owns the universe, who's the master of the universe, Allah Azza wa Jal. So we go directly to the source of any crisis that we're facing to seek that mercy from Allah. Ya Allah, your mercy is what I'm seeking. And I'm going to place my trust in you, not in myself. I'm not going to be self-centered. I'm going to be Allah-centered. So, فَلَا تَكِلْنِي إِلَى نَفْسِي طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ. So don't let me be in charge of myself even for the blink of an eye. Don't put me in charge of myself. I'm weak, I'm human. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm mistake prone. So don't put me in charge of myself. Don't leave me to myself, even for the blink of an eye. I have my full trust in you, O Allah. Not even for the blink of an eye, the blinking of an eye. And straighten out my affairs totally. وَأَصْلِحْ لِي شَأْنِي كُلَّهُ. Straighten out my affairs in this world, in the grave, in the hereafter, everywhere. In my personal life, in my family life, in my community life, in my life in general. Rectify all my affairs. Make all my affairs good. Make everything nice and fine. Because La ilaha illa ant. There's no one who deserves to be worshipped but you. Meaning that everything is under your control, Ya Allah. It has nothing to do with me. And I know that if you wanted, you can take this crisis away from me. You can remove this hardship. So this is the meaning of this dua, that, O Allah, I only seek mercy from you, from no one else. Don't leave me in charge of myself, because I'm putting my full trust in you, because I'm in desperate need of your help, of your mercy. So straighten out my affairs and my affairs totally, in every way and in every direction. Remove this hardship. Straighten my affairs. Because in the end, there's no one who deserves to be worshipped but you. You are in control, Ya Allah. So help me. Please help me. Brothers and sisters, if we make this dua with full conviction, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would remove our hardships, or remove our stress, our worries, our sadness, our fears, our anxiety. Allah will remove all of that. Prophet Yunus alayhi-Salaam, remember his story, that when he went away from his people and then he ended up in the whale. And as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Surah 21, ayah 87, فَنَادَى فِي الظُّلُمَاتِ. So he called out in the darknesses. In the whole darkness he called out, أَلَّا إِلَهَ إِلَّا أَنْتَ سُبْحَانَكَ إِنِّي كُنْتُ مِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. That there is no one who deserves to be worshipped but you. Glory be to you. And I was a wrongdoer. I was from among the wrongdoers. So immediately in his predicament, Prophet Yunus alayhi-Salam is calling upon Allah and recognizing the very foundational belief that there's no one but Allah. There's no one who deserves to be worshipped but Allah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let this thing happen to me so Allah can take me out of this situation, out of this crisis. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَاسْتَجَبْنَا لَهُ. So we responded to his prayer. We responded to his calling upon us. وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ in Ayah 88 of Surah Al-Anbiya, Surah 21, Ayah 88. وَنَجَّيْنَاهُ مِنَ الْغَمِّ And we delivered him, we rescued him from his anguish. We took him out of his anguish. And listen to the next part. وَكَذَلِكَ نُنْجِي الْمُؤْمِنِينَ This is the way we deliver the believers. This is the way we rescue the believers. We take them out of any crisis that they may be facing. Brothers and sisters, one time Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he came upon the Sahaba and he said, أَلَا أُخْبِرُكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ Shall I tell you something? إِذَا نَزَلَ بِرَجُلٍ مِّنْكُمْ كَرْبٌ أَوْ بَلَاءٌ مِّن بَلَايَا الدُّنْيَا That when a certain crisis or a test or a trial afflicts you from the trials of this dunya, afflicts one of you, وَدَعَا بِهِ And they make this dua, like Yunus alayhi salam did, فَيُفَرَّجُ عَنْهُ So that dua, when they make that dua, that your situation would be relieved, your hardship will be removed. And they said, Bala, the Sahaba, they said, sure, we'd like to hear it. And Rasul sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, Dua udhin noon, the dua of the noon, meaning of Prophet Yunus alayhi salam. La ilaha illa ant subhanaka inni kuntu min al-zalimin. There is no one who deserves to be worshipped but you, O Allah, and glory be to you, and I was from among the wrongdoers. If you make that dua, you turn to Allah, meaning that you turn with that tawheed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, then Allah will remove any hardship that you may be facing. So, beloved hearts, any situation that we may be facing, any hardship, any crisis, any sadness, anxiety, whatever we may be facing, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take them away from us. Allahumma rahmataka arju. O Allah, your mercy is what I seek. فَلَا تَكِلْنِي إِلَى نَفْسِي طَرْفَةَ عَيْنٍ So do not leave me in charge of my own self, even for the blink of an eye. وَأَصْلِحْ لِي شَأْنِي كُلَّهُ And straighten out my affairs, rectify my affairs, all of them, all the time. Because La ilaha illa ant, there's no one who deserves to be worshipped but you. There's no one but you. You're the only one, Ya Allah. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.